Welcome back to Finn versus History. I'm here with Horatio Gould.
Hello there.
And now you've gone quite low African for that.
I know. I was actually trying to say just hello. I was like, I'm going to do it.
But now you've been so warped,
I've been warped by you. Yeah.
We're also with the Scottish scholar Daniel Sloss.
Yes.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend.
It is great honor.
He's not born in Scotland, as you can hear.
The last king of Scotland was based on me.
He's the last king of Scotland.
Yeah.
A controversial comedian, if you're Indian. He says some pretty wild stuff about Indian.
We must say we do not agree with everything this man says.
No,
we just want to say
I'm a centrist when it comes to gender rights. I think there's a lot of good arguments on both sides.
More rights on one side.
Yes, yeah.
But the good side, the goodies are winning.
The good guys. Just an innocent man, Daniel Sloss.
this is very much like Emily Maitlis speaking to Prince Andrew. This is our version of it. You know, we've got him on the show. It doesn't mean we agree with what he stands for.
No.
This is the episode.
Sloss is an outlier in the comedy community.
This is the episode where the listeners of this podcast could maybe get their wives or girlfriends to listen to it.
I'm. Can you tell I'm very uncomfortable with that? I'm absolutely uncomfortable with that. This is one for the ladies' night on the podcast. This is the closest thing to a female guest we will ever have. It's a man who's gone on record saying he's against sexual assault.
Yeah, which we must
say that's his opinion, and it's his political opinion.
This is BBC. We've got to have balance.
We have to have balance. We asked Russell Brand to come in as well, but he's currently he's busy.
Yeah, he's still in America, I think.
Is he? No, he came back for You're keeping up with the trial, aren't you?
No,
you're not in the prosecution.
They did ask.
Yeah.
Well, both of you have a link of going after Russell Brand, right? You went after Brand.
Yeah.
And then you got slapped for it, right?
Yeah, his agent tried to sue me, or threatened suing me,
yeah.
and then called me and said sorry.
Oh right.
Sorry, it turns out he is a rapist. Sorry. I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Not Shag of the Year. Yeah. Surely he can't.
Which Shag of the Year?
When did the apology come?
Like four days afterwards.
After the documentary?
No. After because she saw the show, she confronted me afterwards. I remember telling you. I told everyone.
Yeah,
this is pretty funny. So she called me and said, "I believe in free speech. I enjoyed your show. Yep, lots of love. See you later."
She's a free speech fundamentalist now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She breastfeeds dogs.
Oh my God.
She breastfeeds dogs. She has. Yes, of course. Now we should deal with that. Really.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Oh, she said on a podcast.
It's one of those extraordinary clips.
So
this is gold, green room gold dust. What we're giving you, right?
Oh, the WhatsApps the day that Sophie Ellis Bextor podcast went out was lit all over the world. The beacons of Gondor.
To get people up to speed, Russell Brand's ex-agent went on Sophie Ellis Bextor's podcast. Daniel, would you like to continue the story?
Oh, God, yeah, right. So she goes on Sophie Ellis Bextor's podcast and she's talking about how she's gone to pick up her new dog, and she always says, like, we always say our dog was our first kid, and it's while she was pregnant with her second kid.
That's just fun.
Yeah.
She's pregnant with her kid, or she's recently had a kid, and she brings the dog home. And she willingly offers this information. I've not seen the video of the podcast, but I assume there's no gun against her head.
What I will say is that Sophie Ellis Bextor says, "Have you got a dog?" That's the only context you need for what she then says.
Yeah.
Which is, she then talks about while watching TV with the dog in her lap, the dog starts suckling on her nipples, drinking milk from her breasts, and how she loved the feeling of it. It felt very natural and homely. And I know some of her clients who've listened to that and been like, what the actual fuck?
You're representing me in business, and you've gone on your first ever podcast, and that's the story you choose to announce to the world.
What are you doing on podcasts? You're an agent. Yeah. Fuck off.
My favourite moment is when she's telling the story, and I was wearing a dressing gown, and then the dog finds my nipple and started suckling, and you hear Sophie Ellis Bextor go, "Oh." Like she's going, yeah, dogs are cute. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
What?
She's also, and then my husband walks in. He says hi, by the way, and Sophie's like, okay.
Let's get to the dog tits.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how we got there, but being suckled by dogs is kind of Gaddafi-esque,
right,
isn't it? It's in the playbook.
Yes, fine.
That's a mad dog that needs to be
put down. Well, yeah. Mad
is he
dog
the dog
suckling,
or the tits?
I don't know what he is.
So where are we? Where we left off?
Well, first of all, Daniel, we're halfway through the Gaddafi series.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah,
we needed an expert to call in, another scholarly expert.
Yeah, what's your initial thoughts on Gaddafi as the man?
Well, so before I did all of the research before I would have said very anti-Gaddafi.
Sure.
Would have been my stance.
You're anti a lot of things. We get that. You're not for many things.
After immersing myself in his world, I'm not pro him,
There's
but
a charm to him.
there is an absolute
He's an
charm
undeniable star quality.
I'm not pro him. I'm not anti him.
If he was still around and he invited me on a night out, I would be like, as long as nobody else finds out that I'm coming, 100% I'm coming.
I'm very much listening. If Gaddafi's in there, I want to hear him speak more than anyone.
I just think sponsoring terrorism is so fucking funny and cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It is cool.
So cool to be like, oh, we're a small country of 60 million people. I hate everyone out there, but I can't go out there. There's fucking sanctions. People are going to try and kill me.
Yeah.
What do? You hate your government? Great. Here's £1 billion and a bunch of bombs. You hate your government too. He's like the Oprah of country.
You get a car. You get a car.
You get some
car bomb. Yeah.
It's like a governmental grant. It's like to encouraging.
But I love how he's just basically this lone troll.
Yeah.
That it's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I guess he's the ultimate troll.
He's the Joker. He's the agent of chaos. Some men just want to watch the world burn, and that's all Gaddafi seems to do. And he's not, now whenever I see those memes of like, oh, what if Bill Hicks was around today, all that stuff, I'm like, we're missing out on what Gaddafi would be saying about the current age.
100%.
What would Gaddafi be doing with the woke era? What would Gaddafi say?
Yeah. Who's he sponsoring?
Who's he sponsoring
no
now?
One knows.
Is he sponsoring the blue? Is he sponsoring people to cancel culture? Is he that?
Like, he might have because he has so many eras. Some eras that completely contradict his other eras. He could have had a really woke era.
He'd have a blue hair era.
He could have been like super
sponsoring feminazis going down the street. That's
trans terrorism. Yeah,
him and J.K. Rowling together.
Replace their cut their dicks off, sticks of dynamite. Bang.
Well, yeah. It's also, if you have a lot of money, it's more creative. Yeah, what a creative way to spend it.
He had so much. He was nobody ever talks about what a self-made billionaire he was.
Yeah,
was the richest man in the world at one point.
Yeah.
Apparently, he died richer.
We don't know if it's
richer
true.
than Bill Gates and Warren Buffett put together.
Because that's the thing. Is when you see those rich lists, it's always billionaires because they have to be public with their assets. But then Putin's never in those lists, right?
Yes.
So I guess when people say the richest person in the world, I guess political leaders, because it's all hidden.
Yeah,
and their wealth's not really
the
counted.
king and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we got to the last episode. Gaddafi had entirely reinvented himself as an intellectual author, even though he can't read. He'd changed the name of Libya to blah, 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 blah. The flag's now green.
Yeah.
He's
just green.
Just green.
Just green.
It's very Kanye-esque, this kind of minimal aesthetic. He's really boiling it down to his...
written a book
also hates the Jews.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, he's written a green book, which is a series of words.
Which is different from the movie The Green Book, which took me
very
a while.
Two different books.
So he didn't. The Green Book is not based off Gaddafi's Green Book.
No.
The film The Green Book is not.
No, because that was
quite a radical interpretation.
Yes. Gaddafi wouldn't be happy with that film. That's not what I meant at all.
Why is that black man in the back of the car? That doesn't make any sense.
What did you mean, Gaddafi?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
we went the last time we went through some quotes, Sloss, and it's basically he is describing nouns as if he's just heard them.
Yes,
so his opinion on sports is everyone should play sport. Sport is for all, not just the rich people.
Music is for listening to.
For listening is sometimes in the air when you walk through a lift.
When it is cold, you wear more clothes. When it is hot, less clothes.
He also said, I can't recognise either the Palestinian or Israeli state. The Palestinians are idiots and the Israelis are idiots, which is a form of centrism, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
You're both idiots.
Those who do not love me do not deserve to live. Fair play.
But imagine that
all right,
in Arabic tattooed on your side.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about this one? All right, then nobody can complain if we ask pregnant women to make parachute jumps.
We don't know the context of that.
I love that as a quote, one of his famous quotes, because it's clearly the end of an argument. All right then, well, no one cares if you make a pregnant jump out of a plane. What happens then?
And at this point, he's not because he had his UN era, right? That comes later.
That's later.
When he uses that as a soapbox and starts mouthing off.
There is no state with a democracy except Libya on the whole planet. The guy's a maniac. A maniac. And we brought Sloss in because this is where he really, this is peak Maradona. This is hand of God stuff. He's on cocaine.
Yeah, he's entering his prime.
Yeah. So the first thing we need to talk about happens in 1984, where there's a dissident he calls people who hate him stray dogs.
Yep.
Right.
So he's been called the mad dog by Reagan.
Yep.
He calls anyone who is against him a stray dog.
Right.
And he has this, supposedly this web, this Bond villain web throughout the world to try and catch the stray dogs and kill them. He thinks he's found one, and he fills a sports hall in Benghazi with, I think it's 6,000, or maybe it's more, children,
little kids.
As young as 6.
Yeah.
And he proceeds to do a show trial up to one man.
Who forgot his gym stuff.
Right.
Just normally they would just make him do it in his boxers, make him run around real
guilty
embarrassing.
of wearing black shoes in a squash court. And they do a show trial, and everyone's like cheering.
Why is it all kids? What's the
because
thought there?
but I think because just before this we've had Mao's Culture Revolution,
right?
And he saw what Mao did with the kids, and he's like, we need to get the kids involved in the revolution.
But I think Mao's thing was teenagers, right? I think
Gaddafi's misunderstood this.
Misunderstood. The whole point is like the youth movement. It's not literally.
It's like toddlers. And then he's found guilty. Sloss, you said funny enough, he's found guilty of subversion. You said you watched this earlier.
It's like without even the sound on, not that I speak fucking
crazy.
Yeah,
I don't speak crazy.
But it's just this guy begging for his life visibly in this, like hands tied behind his back on his knees with all these kids clapping and fucking with their mums just handing out fucking little ham sandwiches.
So he's in a basketball court. Go on, Sloss.
So instead of like having the trap door which opens, which causes your fucking neck to snap, they're just like, just hoist them up. And they do, which takes you like 3 or 4 minutes to die. And it's taken so long that some fucking mad bitch in the crowd is like, I'll do it. And then just goes and like hangs onto the guy's legs. Like, pulls him down to like break his neck and make him choke faster. And then she got a job.
Gaddafi saw that and was like, that is brilliant. Because Gaddafi doesn't seem to like anyone, but he was like, that's
feminism.
That is absolutely.
That is a girl boss slaying.
That's a badass bitch slaying a man. But even when she pulled on him to break his neck, that didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So then he gets taken to this doctors who inject him with poison. That doesn't even work. Yeah. So then they just start hitting him with hammers, I think.
No. They get a sack filled with sand.
Oh, fuck, that's it.
And then they ram it down
ram
it down his throat and hold his nose until he chokes to death.
Fucking hell.
Which is always like, all their ideas are how to kill it. Each one, it feels like there's so many easier ways to do this.
It's like a Naked Gun film. It's like hanging, poisoning. Okay, sock with sand.
Yeah. Also, why not just hang him for longer? Be like, well, he's clearly immune to hanging. Yeah. We tried it for 3 minutes. Yeah. This guy's immune to hammers. He's bleeding, but that's.
I want to see what the next one on the pyramid down was. You go, right, that hasn't worked. The sock in the sand hasn't worked. What's next? Snake up the arse? What do we do? So this is beginning.
By the way, see, the woman who yanked on him didn't just get given a job; she was made mayor of Benghazi.
Was it that, or she goes in the cabinet as well? I think
she becomes a mayor,
foreign secretary or something.
Because he hates Benghazi.
Yes,
because it's the east of the country, which he's always trying. So he's literally like some random psychopath. He's like, well, you can run that.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And that, do you know that's how Sadiq got the job? Do you know that? That's how Sadiq got London.
Well, even she wouldn't do Ulez. Even she's not mad enough to do fucking Ulez.
Yeah. So this happens in the same year that Gaddafi's foreign terrorism really starts to kick off. There is a protest in London in '84 outside the Libyan embassy.
The most Libyans outside of Libya live in the UK.
But there's like 50 of them.
And they've also not updated the sign on the Libyan embassy to be the really long fucking name that he decided to. It still just says
yeah. It's the Socialist Republic of so there's a big protest against him. And listen, I sometimes walk past small protests and I'm, people, this podcast will know I'm a deeply conservative boomer inside, and I do have an interior monologue that goes, no, fucking hippies, get a job. And what happens
when you say inside, you mean shouting at
I'm shouting at it, yeah, through a megaphone.
Get a job, you fucking hippies.
Get out my pool, What happens next? I do have dark fantasies about what happens next.
Right.
It's that someone at the top of the Libyan embassy, there is a protest happening outside with placards. Someone just opens a window and just starts firing a submachine gun in broad midday. Right, fuck this.
But
that's enough. Yeah. Too many pigeons on my lawn. Yeah!
Yeah, in the way that you'd spray a cat if they're biting you with like
water pistol. Just in London. In London. Sadiq's London. Submachine gun out of a window. Disperses the crowd.
Yeah, like it's a drive-by, but from an unmoving vehicle. Just
I
the
bet
casual.
he's not even looking. He hasn't finished his conversation. Yeah, so I was saying.
Sorry, I can't hear myself overall.
Yeah. Obviously, what I will say about this event, obviously a police officer tragically loses her life, but it is the furthest anyone's actually tried to take diplomatic immunity. Like, those buildings are supposed to be safe houses.
Yes.
Well, they're meant to be, it's Libyan soil, technically.
Yeah. So.
But that was the fucking chess move that Gaddafi had gotten them into, because all the police and the SWAT here were like, let us in that building, we know the shooter's in there. And they were like, you're not getting in. He's not here. We don't know where he is. There must be like an underground tunnel out of this building. Can we see that?
I mean, we talked about this with the Munich stuff and how they all gave the terrorists back to Gaddafi.
Yeah.
And it's seemingly this weird liberal order where it seems like Gaddafi can just get away with everything because of the rules and regulations of the post-World War II liberal order.
Yeah, the UN's woke.
It's basically like someone's shot a machine gun out at an embassy. It's like literally they've claimed sanctuary.
It's their culture.
Yeah, they had one hand on base.
Yeah. Surely that's enough to be like, you can't be in that house anymore.
Yeah,
you can't just.
Just imagine, like, climate change protest. Shut up.
Or just a couple of grenades.
Extinction Rebellion. Right, just pop a grenade under that truck that you sellotape to. Bang. That's that problem done.
Hey, what are you saying? Sorry about that.
So a police officer, Yvonne Fletcher, or as she's called on Wikipedia, officially a woman police officer.
Right.
Her rank is WPC.
Right.
Woman police constable.
A woman policeman.
Yeah. Because now I think they're just all police people.
Yeah.
People at police? I don't know what the concept was.
But she was like a model policeman, right? There was a whole story about her.
Yeah, the only good pig is a dead one. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, he meant because she's a woman, she's a model.
They're like, she was like,
oh, she's
they
a
were
model.
using her
She's
as
fit.
like, yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, where are we at now?
So Yvonne Fletcher is assassinated on the streets of London in broad daylight, and just put a pin in that for when we get to Gaddafi a couple of sections later in the story. There's then a bit of a siege, I think, and Gaddafi just gets the guy, just gets him home. No, sorry about that.
Because they're not allowed to go in there, but then they cut off diplomatic relations, right?
Classic British move. That'll get
exactly.
Him.
Well,
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Yeah. We're going to turn our backs on you. There you go. They've got a gun. Don't care. No, we're not going to.
So that means that they need to clear out of the embassy.
Yes.
They wait for them all to clear out. Then they get their flights back to Libya.
Yep.
And when they go into the embassy, the gun, the bullets, and everything is just there.
There.
And they just fucking lied. They were like, "Yeah, he was there the whole time. Of course he was."
It does seem mad,
there's bullets in the hall,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess the reason they decided it was a tactical thing is because they didn't want to undermine. I guess the actual thinking is if they undermine UN resolutions and stuff, it puts all of their diplomats abroad at risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, because
it still feels a bit mad.
Yeah, because I think that at this point there's still British and American diplomats in Libya, but all over it just puts them at a lot of risk if they break into an embassy.
Yeah, so this isn't the point.
It's just the moral high ground that they're just so desperately trying to hold on to.
The next attack is when Reagan was like, right, enough of this.
Yeah.
So this is in Berlin on the 5th of April 1986. A woman enters a nightclub, La Belle nightclub in West Berlin, which is a venue frequented by American servicemen.
Yeah.
And she sets off a 2-kilogram bomb.
Heavy.
A bomb in a Berlin nightclub. Can you imagine the scene? Rubber fists everywhere. Shitty nappies all over the walls.
Mixed with real fists. Like they're going through it at the end, feeling like fake, real, all covered in shit. Fake. Oh my God, 100 men died. Look how many hands we found.
Yeah.
This is the what? Oh no, it's two. Two guys died.
2 guys died. All right. They were just having a really good time.
Guys, I can't tell you how many black men died in there. The amount of decks I've seen, just none of them left. Just big.
Look at these charred bodies. Oh, it's a gimp mask. No, never mind. Okay, he was just wearing leather. Yeah, there is no more heinous a crime scene than a bomb going off in a Berlin nightclub. My God. And Reagan goes, well, this is horrible. This is a war crime.
Yeah.
I think quite a few people die in this one.
It says three people.
Oh, just the 3, is it?
Yeah.
3 killed.
200 injured.
200 injured, 2 US troops and 1 Turkish woman. Don't know why that's made me laugh. It's quite fun. 2 US servicemen and a Turkish woman as well. But
because it does kind of make it sound like as if they were all just part of the same clique there.
Yeah. What's going on there? Yeah.
So this is they discover this because it's a Semtex bomb, which is Gaddafi's like king of Semtex.
Yeah, loves
so
it.
Any bomb that goes off that's got Semtex, it's basically from Colonel Gaddafi.
Yeah.
So he's also funding the IRA at this point.
Of course he is.
He's giving them guns.
He would take any call. All you guys do, yeah.
You'd love to hear that phone call.
Yeah.
The two thickest, most terrifying accents in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, because also Gaddafi could speak English. He just often refused to.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sully his mouth with it. But then when he's phoning up the fucking IRA, he's like, all right, lads, it's been a while, but let's dust off the old cobwebs. How many Catholics we going for?
Yeah, fuck the Catholics. So Reagan, in response to the Berlin nightclub, orders Operation El Dorado Canyon.
That's quite a Reagan.
Pretty good name.
Yeah.
El Dorado Canyon. Coming to cinemas soon.
Yeah. And he orders airstrikes on Tripoli and Benghazi 10 days after the bomb. Gaddafi's home is bombed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He survives, but, and this is a great move,
he makes up a daughter.
Yeah.
It's like he's never mentioned her before.
Yeah.
At any point. He's like, those bombs on my house? Yeah, my little baby girl died in there. And there's no trace of her. Because they bombed her.
And she was 6.
Yeah, she was 6 years old. Smithereens, she is.
And so it heavily backfired for Reagan, really, because he did an immediate press conference outside of the damaged rubble saying my daughter's been killed, and actually it tugged on a lot of people's heartstrings. They're like, oh, poor.
You don't have a daughter. I adopted one, actually, yesterday.
Yeah. You don't have a daughter. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't have a daughter.
Sees a corpse. I adopt you. Oh, no. Not my daughter.
But he gives this speech, which basically is the most sort of 21-year-old left-wing speech.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, we're not terrorists. Ronald Reagan, #1 terrorist in the world.
Right.
The biggest terrorist is George Bush. That's basically what he says to the cameras. And he goes, we are civilization. You are pigs. You are terrorist pigs.
Yeah. Is this also the one where we had the big fucking statue made, which is now is in a museum out there, but it's of a giant fucking Libyan fist crushing, I think it's like an American bald eagle or a plane or something.
Oh, that is fucking cool.
It does look a bit like a hand job.
Yeah.
It does look a tad like a...
We make America gum.
That was actually found in the Berlin nightclub records. It's terrifying. Very sad.
3 servicemen and one giant man.
One massive Turkish woman who'd been fisting them with a plane. My word. So this is following the 1986 bombing of Libya by the United States, which kind of... I think this is I don't know when's Top Gun come out? Because I think this basically is neither the inspiration for it or it happens around the same time. Makes Top Gun such a big movie.
Yep.
It's because at this time, those American pilots are... Yeah, it comes out in 86, so it's about the same time.
Well, the Pentagon or the Army, they fund Top Gun, partially fund the film.
Do they?
Yeah, they fund it.
So
it's to make it seem cool.
Propaganda.
It's literally propaganda.
Wow.
And then submissions go up 500% after Top Gun comes out.
Really?
Yeah.
Because have you seen Hot Shots?
No?
Which was that?
Oh, it's a Charlie Sheen spoof of Top Gun.
Right.
It's a film that your girlfriend won't like.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a silly dad film.
So it's a film.
It's a film. Who's they? What are they doing? Who's she? Is she bad? Yeah. So this is the first major US intervention
In the Arab world.
Actually, the US got involved when there were white slaves in the Barbary Coast.
That's our thing.
Yeah, from Ireland and Britain.
Oh, I thought this would be ages ago. How long ago was it?
That was like the 17th, 18th century.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I thought it was like ancient world.
No.
Right.
It's at the same time as the slave trade.
It's funny to fumble the bag with white privilege, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially in like the height of the colonial era. It's like, how the fuck did this happen?
I'm a slave to the Arabs. What the fuck's going on here?
Is this how I fucked it this badly?
Did I have a weird drink? Did someone spike my drink? What the fuck's going on there? My name's Roger.
I'm in the right time at the right place. How have I done this?
I'm being whipped by an Arab man smoking shisha.
Could you stop doing that? I'm trying to think of how I got here. Just give me a second. What went wrong?
Obviously...
Did the white slaves get anything done? Was it as pathetic as we imagined?
No, they were complaining all the time.
I'm going to start a resolution to stop this.
Here's your dinner. It's got gluten in it.
Can we? I can't be ours running. Can we just get like a boat or something, please?
Please. Anyway, I can't remember. How does the operation end? Like, obviously, there's a bit of shooting down the plane and stuff.
Well, it's a PR disaster, right?
Is this during the time when like Gaddafi's like, this part of the sea's my fucking sea, nobody's allowed in it?
The line of death.
The line of death. And the US ships go in and be like, that's one of the things I love about him so much, is to just go to the US Army in the fucking A's being like, this is the line of fucking death. You cross this me and my 5.5 million population will fucking destroy you. And knowing full well the US are going to be like, just good trolling.
Great trolling.
Yeah, he's a honey badger.
And arguably...
he's literally a honey badger.
Arguably, his most successful troll takes place over Lockerbie in 1988.
Yeah. It's a classic. The odd one too.
Yeah, this is his... This is the Scottish 9/11. Yeah. This was, before 9/11, the worst act of terrorism, I think, ever.
Yep.
Certainly the worst air terrorism. Daniel is a Scot. What's this in Dunblane, really? They're the big ones.
Yeah. This Dunblane, and the only other terrorist attack we had was the Glasgow airport one, which was the greatest.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Where Johnny Smeaton kicked the terrorist in the testicles while he was on fire.
Yeah. Because the only people that can really, like the rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Right. You've got obviously Islamic terrorism has taken over everything. The only thing that can beat that is the Scots. The drunk Glaswegian
kicking your
kicks
cunt
the nuts of the Islamic terrorists. So this is basically to get back at Reagan for the strikes. So there's a plane, Pan Am, which I always think sounds like a woman.
Why are you doing it in Scotland? What's Scotland got to do?
It's not meant to explode.
It was meant to explode over the ocean, and so that there was no traces of anything left, and they never would have known what would happen, and the black box would have disappeared. Right. But because there were delays, unsurprisingly, from Heathrow.
This is before the Elizabeth line. This is before Heathrow's open Terminal 5.
Yeah. Bombs aren't set off with phones. It's like the timer. So the guy
egg timer.
Egg timer.
Yeah.
Flight's delayed an hour, and because of that, it goes over and explodes above land.
I mean, that's a crazy idea, though, because the plane's always delayed.
Yeah. But this was pre 9/11, so delayed way less. There was no security at this point. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got the bomb through in it was Semtex in a radio, but there's no scanners.
It was a suitcase with children's clothes in it, in like a wash bag.
And a bomb.
Yes, there was a bomb. Yeah. I thought that was clear. It wasn't just some perfume that exploded. Very strong Arabian perfume. It was set fire over. Yeah, so it's Pan Am flight. I always think that sounds like a woman.
Yeah. Pam Anderson. That's every single time.
Pamela Anderson is flying for Lockerbie. Flight 103.
Hanging down out the sky.
It's Frankfurt to New York via Heathrow. They're flying home for Christmas. Flying home for Christmas. I can't wait to see their faces sprayed over a Scottish mountainside.
Also, if you're a flat earther, that route makes no sense.
Well, not many things do make sense if you're a flat earther.
Gaddafi's Green Book made sense. If
you're a flat earther.
Finally, someone's making some fucking sense of this.
So, flight from Frankfurt to New York, flying home for Christmas, blah, blah, blah. Big explosion over a tiny, was it a market town?
Yeah. And this is the bit that's most wild. You could blow a plane up above most places in Scotland, and the only people you're killing are the people in the fucking plane. Right. For it to land on a town and then also destroy half of it and kill. I mean, I don't know what the ratios of death was for the amount of people. I think it was 70.
Maybe 50 people. It takes out basically 12 houses. This fireball just comes down from because it's at 30,000 feet. Yeah. So it's just the whole sky
massive firework, and we're in Scotland, they're the Queen's dead. That's good. So that's what that means. And then
this fireball comes out the sky, and basically the whole fuselage just lands on a terraced house. It's like a row of terraced houses.
Right.
That's gone. And where is Lockerbie in Scotland? Is it in the Central Belt or is it?
Scroll out.
Fucking.
All right. Yeah. So it's near the border.
Yeah.
Right. And where's Dunblane?
Dunblane's further east, I believe.
Right. And that when did that happen?
95.
95.
96.
And Andy Murray was
at school there.
School there.
Yeah.
He hid in there.
I was living.
And still the most boring man. Imagine surviving the only fucking school shooting in the UK and still having nothing to say.
Good at tennis though.
Oh,
he lets his tennis do the talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was living in Scotland when Dunblane happened, and I was at school. Yeah.
What's your alibi?
Sorry?
What's your alibi?
I was 5. I was the angry fat kid that shot at Dunblane.
Do you have any photos of you as a fat kid?
Charlie, have you got the photo?
Fat Taylor.
Yeah, as the Christmas
mince pie story.
Mince pie.
Yeah.
I had to pull over my car because I was laughing so hard. I just thought of you as a little Chelsea fan. Just like when the devil tries to feed Homer Simpson all of the donuts.
There I am.
And he's just hom, just never ending.
There I am. That's
Look at
me.
this.
Look at those thighs. My thighs haven't lost any weight. I'll tell you that much. I've still got those thighs.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Jumper over the shoulder. hanging tough. Looking cool. By my granddad's big organ.
Excuse me?
He was a music man.
And boy, did he make us sing.
He made us sing. So Lockerbie it's a big boo-boo.
It's a big one.
So bear in mind,
I guess 9/11 sort of took a lot of Lockerbie's thunder in the sense that, but at the time it was no one had really seen anything quite like it.
Originally, they don't know what's happened, and there's it's really grim. There's body parts sprayed across the hillside.
Miles and miles and miles. Because
Right.
they've fallen from 30,000 feet.
So there's a Berlin nightclub
There's a Berlin nightclub exploding in the air. Rubber fists everywhere. Dildos everywhere. And the deeply conservative Presbyterians of Scotland are like, mate, this is a disgrace.
To them, it's some sort of horrific omen at the start.
Yeah.
God is angry with us.
God's angry.
Dildos and tits are falling from the sky. He's tempting us.
And they think originally it's the Iranians because
that's what they're up to. It's
this is
typical.
the
I won't
Ayatollah.
blame
Grumpykins is in power.
But to be fair, which is not talked about here, is the Americans accidentally do pretty much the same as Lockerbie to the Iranians.
Yes,
and it's more people die.
So that's why they think it's retaliation for this thing, or there's some kind of Israel-Arab war happening.
Yeah,
and an Iranian flight enters Israeli airspace because of a sandstorm or something.
Yeah, and they say tell it to land, and it doesn't.
And then the Americans shoot it down because they think it's all kicking off. I think. And
then 290 people die.
Yeah. So originally it's assumed that Lockerbie is a revenge for that.
1 for 1.
It turns out that it's they trace the kids. So they have the black box, and they trace the kids' clothes or some clothing in the suitcase to a clothes shop in Malta. They then get the receipts there.
Right.
And it's these two guys. Are they Libyan or were they just living in Libya? Is it a Palestinian thing?
Well, you don't know because Libya is just the training camp. So loads of people go through Libya, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're from Libya.
Yeah. It's never really... I mean, there was a big trial.
It's very confusing. Even listening
takes like 4 years
it's
for
very
them to
confusing for people to know.
Say it's Gaddafi, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's also Gaddafi blames it on al-Megrahi, who was arrested. So he originally would not give the terrorists over to Scotland for the investigation and stuff, and then eventually did when he was going through his reconciliation period. Later on, he gave us al-Megrahi, and then we released al-Megrahi in about 2000.
Oh, did he have prostate cancer?
Yeah, he had cancer, and we let him go on compassionate grounds.
I remember that, yeah.
But this is throughout this story, is all this kind of like, well, you are sick. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're free to go.
The only thing worse than bombing a passenger liner is keeping a man who's got prostate cancer indoors. Yeah,
you're free to go.
Get out there.
Here's a W.H. Smith voucher.
Don't spend it all in one shop. That's all I can do.
So this starts the beginning of UN sanctions. This is the kind of the peak of
bad PR
the world
sort
of closing its doors on Gaddafi, which is the last thing he wants because
he's a true pariah.
He's too big for Libya. This is when he goes full, well, I'm not Arab, I'm African.
Yeah.
This is where he starts getting the kit on, the clobber.
Yeah. Leopard skin.
The leopard skin, all the robes and stuff.
He builds a lot of infrastructure in Africa. He's like some of the biggest mosque in Uganda.
Yes.
Is the Gaddafi mosque?
He's a hero over there because, especially when they were fighting against colonialism, he was like, "Great, I'll just stick all of this money into all of these
fucking
places to help."
And And I think one of the really interesting things that I learned from the podcast I was listening to for this is Mandela was a huge fan of Gaddafi.
Oh, yeah.
Which is probably Mandela's biggest blind spot. A man who seems to have very few counter narratives about his greatness.
Yes.
He's one of the most morally consistent
He's a sacred
men.
cow.
He really
Mandela.
is. But, Gandhi's a sacred cow, but then you look at the actual stories of him and he does some fucking weird shit. This seems to be one of his only real notable blind spots, is that till the end, he says Gaddafi is fucking awesome.
And made his grandson be named after him. So there is
Let's
somebody
get Gaddafi Mandela on the pod.
There is someone called Gaddafi
Mandela.
Mandela. Which is it's like someone being called Hitler Thunberg.
Yeah.
Greta Hitler Thunberg.
Osama bin Harris.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing because people don't like to talk about this. Mandela was originally seen as a terrorist.
Absolutely.
And he was wrongly
I
freed.
will not negotiate with him.
Yeah, he was freed from Robben Island. Absolute woke nonsense. Keep that man banged up. He's a threat to society.
Yeah, so I guess it's trial and error though, because if you're Gaddafi and you're anyone who says I'm going to blow up anything, you're like brilliant.
Have some money. Yeah.
A stock clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah, but again, like you were saying,
But,
Mugabe for the first 5-10 years is a kind of student hero.
Yeah.
And then he goes insane.
Yeah.
Gets the Hitler Tash or whatever.
But most of them, if they stay in power, they become corrupt and
Winnie Mandela,
awful.
by all accounts, was the one where all knows all the bodies are buried.
Oh, right, for the ANC.
Yeah. When the ANC was more aggressive in its tactics. Yeah, so anyway, but this is when the kind of Mandela-Gaddafi bromance starts, which is like a sort of...
buddy cop film.
Yeah, it's a film. It's a, unlikely best friends.
Yeah,
sort of like Rush Hour.
Yeah, it's Rush Hour. Mandela and Gaddafi. Fuck, I want to see that film.
Yeah. Wait,
so Mandela's the straight man and Gaddafi's kind of the crazy one. Yeah.
So Mandela's Jackie Chan.
What, Gaddafi's Chris Tucker? Never touch an Arab's radio. Oh, we should. Do you know what we should do? We should get up his fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Vanity Fair piece.
Yeah. So this is in the 90s. He's closed off to the world because he's been such a naughty boy, funding everything terrorism wise. So he's constantly trying to get people's attention. This is when he just starts dressing louder. He wears tracksuits with
nice.
The whole silhouette of Africa on the front.
Yes.
So he has Africa symbols everywhere now.
He does go super gay in that aspect. Like he's military. He's in the khakis, the fatigues. He's in all of the.
We were saying it's like drag. There's
He's playing with
the idea of being a leader, a dictator. It's like a camped up version of it.
It's post Hitler. It's post Mussolini. It's irony. It's I'm this today, and somehow he always looks like my nan in every one of this. Even when he's in the military stuff, I'm like, yeah. And then before we end this episode, we need to talk about the what happens in Abu Salim.
Yes, so this is going to become key.
Allegedly. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. You're learning.
So you do know that word. That's funny. I didn't know you had that in your vocabulary. Go on.
So the Abu Salim prison massacre. This is kind of he's. Throughout this whole time, we haven't really touched on it. He has been doing absolutely heinous stuff to his own people constantly. It's a nightmare living in Libya.
Televised executions every single day.
It's Newsnight, but instead it's just hanging someone.
Yeah.
And Christian Guru Murphy pulls
Mateless comes out and just hanging. Mateless hanging Prince Andrew in the basketball.
But there's also no journalists. He's killed all the journalists. So the people who are reading the news every night, they're literally just taking random Libyans off the street. And they're like, you're the newscaster tonight. Yeah. And they're like, huh? And they're
they're all Guy Goma. Every news.
I think maybe technology. I've still got his number.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should get him on.
Get him on the show.
We should get him on here.
I don't know if he'd be a great guest.
We get him on. We should have got him on before Daniel. So we're here with Daniel Sloss and then get him to go like that. We'll talk about Gaddafi and then get him on.
Rape is
I think rape is very bad today.
Too common.
So this is domestically. He's abolished laws. He's abolished the idea of there being a leader. He calls himself brother leader. He's just guiding the revolution.
Yeah. And that's why he can't be ousted. Because he's like, what? He's like, I'm not. If you're angry, he keeps putting these little governments in. He's like, right, this is the fun revolution. He keeps rebranding revolutions and it's basically getting new people in. He's like, look, these people are the government and they answer to the people below, which is you. Yeah. And then you answer to these people, which is below there. So it's all this system. I do technically make all of the decisions, but if you ever get bored of the decisions, I can kill all of these people and we can just have another revolution.
He loves football. We will do a Patreon special on Gaddafi's sons.
We have to tell this anecdote
because that's a story in its own right. But one of his sons.
So their sons are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Playboys spending the hordes of wealth he's taken from the oil money that the Libyan people aren't seeing at all.
Yeah.
And it's part of the demise of Gaddafi is the publicised playboy nature of his sons going literally gallivanting around the world.
But one son in particular loves football, and so what Gaddafi does is he buys a Libyan football club and makes his son play for the team. The team is very bad. He can't play football.
Yep.
His son is the only player who has his name on the back.
Yes, because he's so terrified of anyone being more famous than him. He really tightly controls fame and notoriety. Even the football players, no names on the back.
Just
the commentators has to be numbers. Apart from his son, and also if they don't pass the ball enough to the son, they get dropped.
But they get bonuses every time they pass to the son. So he then is made the captain of the Libyan national team.
Yep.
He then goes to Serie A because Gaddafi and Berlusconi are great mates.
Yeah.
Gaddafi even manages to get Berlusconi to pay Libya $5 billion as reparations for all the Italian war crimes. Now, this might be a bit later on in the story, but he then, the son, I can't stress this enough, can't play football.
No, it's fucking hilarious.
Plays for... it's Udinese, but before that, it's someone else. Makes one appearance.
Right.
Oh, he's obviously awful. Can't play football.
And he paid to play.
It's
the only recorded time.
It's the only time in football history that someone has paid to play for a professional club.
But the crazy thing is when he comes back to Libya, because of basically refereeing decisions all go towards Gaddafi's son's clubs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Then there's protests from people basically like, this is corrupt, this is fucked.
Yeah.
And then I think they dress up Gaddafi's son as like a goat or something like that. And then they all get killed.
Yes.
A lot of them get killed. The club that was protesting, they demolished the entire stadium. And
dissolve the club.
Yeah, and then hang loads of them.
Yeah. So,
which is real. That is how you win a club rivalry. That is, you talk about Celtic and Rangers.
Just demolish.
Well, people talk about bad club owners. I think really you don't know how good you have it.
Also, didn't he get a share in Juventus?
Yeah, it's quite
Yeah, he does have a share. And
I guess it's just Italian Serie A. If there's anyone who's going to be like, if you've got cash.
Yeah.
I don't care about your past. I'm not here to judge. They're not very judgmental, I don't think.
Italians.
Yeah, well, the Italian football owners, I don't think.
So he nearly buys United and Crystal Palace, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Abu Salim prison
massacre, right? So this is a terrible prison for dissidents. I think it was built by the Italians, but it's like the conditions are absolutely awful. They're all crammed into small buildings. They're not given food. They're not allowed to. They're not told why they're there. A lot of them.
No.
And then they have nothing to lose, and they start a prison riot. And they take one of the guards hostage. And they eventually get the prison to a negotiating table, and they basically demand, look, they're not even saying get us out of prison, they're saying can we just have basic
food, water,
just
medicine.
like basic things, medicine, and they're like, right, you can have it, and also you're allowed outside for like the first time in a couple of years, whatever. And then they're all like in the prison yard, like sun on their face, like finally
Shawshank drinking a buzz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then they're all in that prison yard, and then the prison guards just massacre every single one of
them. Shoot them all.
They do
throw grenades in there as well. It's just
They do the thing of they're like, okay, we've listened to your protests, so we've actually got 20 ambulances outside, and all the really sick people. We're just going to take them.
Yes.
So the prisoners see all of these other prisoners put in the back of ambulances driven away. They'd be like, oh my god, this is the guy that freed Libya.
It's one of the biggest psychs.
Yeah,
protesting works.
Yeah, it does. This is amazing. Maybe we should sign
open
more
the empty window. Fuck off.
Completely dead. And then I'm pretty sure because it's his son that was sent in to like deal with it.
Yes, one of his other sons. Yeah, because his son, even though they're gallivanting around the world, just going from hotels, taking their tigers. Every city they go to, their tigers get put in the local zoo, so they can have the tigers with them. Yeah. They're not only traveling the world; they have to take their pet tigers with them. But they are still, because they're Gaddafi's son, technically have really high political positions. So even though they're doing all this playboy shit, he's still technically the head of security.
Yeah,
so
prison reform.
Yeah, prison reform.
It's like Rachel Reeves going to Davos, taking a squadron of like leopards. if you want me here, you need more leopards need to be here as well.
They sort of cover this up. Yeah. They don't need to cover it up because they've just killed all the journalists who had any spine anyway in the country. Yeah. So there's not really much of a cover up done. But they get rid of the bodies by like just putting them in a massive pile and bury them underground with concrete. Right, which I think is like one of the most fucked up ways, because you might know this as a father. Have you ever had to do that thing where you take your kids' dinosaur toys and you put them in like a little tray and you fill it up with water?
Yes.
And you give it to the kids and you give them a hammer, and for the kids it occupies them for an hour while they just sort of chisel the ice away to get
you freeze the water. Yeah.
Yeah, you freeze the water. So it's like a little archaeological dig for the kids to like dig the dinosaurs out. He's done that with journalists and cement.
Where are they embedded in the concrete?
I think so. Like he's just like he.
So if you want to get them out, you got to drill that.
Yeah,
makes a big pile,
soloed, like
covers it up with cement, and then it's just like there, and then like demolishes the prison. There's like there's never been a prison.
Just tell them infrastructure. Yeah, it's a solid foundation.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's very obviously there's no journalists yet, and because they've been in prison, not being able to communicate with their families anyway, it's just rumoured that something happened. No one really knows what, but something apparently happened, and it's just that's why it doesn't come out till much later.
Yeah, for 4 years, like the families of people in this prison are like still sending like cigarettes and food and drink to this cementy grave.
Yeah, to a big pile of cement.
Being like, he's not quiet in the past 2 years. I hope he's not cheating on me. I hope he's not gone.
And when it all falls down, this is one of the big.
This is one of the big things in his downfall.
Yes.
The fact that he's covered this up. So, he's an international pariah, but Gaddafi, like Bowie, like Miles Davis, is about to reinvent himself. And we'll leave this episode here.
Just when you think you understand Gaddafi, he shapeshifts.
Turns out, Lockerbie, that was nothing.
Yeah.
We are fast approaching one of the greatest things that's ever happened in the world, 9/11. What does Gaddafi do?
My birthday.
Of course, that's what I meant.
That's
what I meant.
And I feel very guilty because that's what I wished for.
What does Gaddafi do with 9/11? You won't believe how he plays it. Yep. It's one of the great plays of all time.
Superb.
Daniel's going to stick around. That episode's already on the Patreon. You can become a truther and get access to all the episodes straight away.
Thanks for coming on the show, Daniel.
Thanks for coming on. He's going to stick around. Yeah. We'll see you all for the conclusion of our Gaddafi series next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.